What if I told you that your healthy avocado toast or your post-workout protein shake with peanut butter might be one of the reasons you're not losing fat? We're taught to think in terms of balance. If we're looking at the my plate or the food pyramid, carbs, proteins, fats, all on the same plate, right? But here's the problem is when you eat carbs and your fats together, you're creating this perfect biological storm for fat storage. It's not even about calories here. It's about hormones. It's about your body's biochemistry. This combo elevates your insulin levels, and insulin's job is to store energy. Once it's elevated, your body can't burn fat, even if you're eating in a deficit. So these balanced meals, they may actually be working against your goals. So today in this episode, we're going to learn a little bit about why the carb plus fat combo is a fat trapping mistake, what are the hormonal reasons that your body will stop burning fat, and then a smarter way to structure your meals to actually boost your energy and burn fat naturally. Welcome to Get Leaner and Live Longer with Nate Palmer, show for busy people who want to maximize their energy, burn fat, and build a body that feels as good as it looks. I'm your host, Nate Palmer. I've been a coach since 2008, and I believe that looking great and feeling unstoppable does not require hours in the gym or giving up all the foods that you love. The show is where I share real strategies that help you get leaner, live longer, and unlock your $1 million body, one habit, one meal, and one workout at a time. So if you're ready to cut through the noise, take control of your health, and finally feel like a high performer again, let's do this. So let's talk a little bit about biochemistry of carbs and fats combined, because I think this is important. And without getting too deep into the weeds, essentially, carbs spike your blood sugar, and this spikes insulin. Insulin, I like to think of as like a key. It's like a key to your cells. So it's like the car key that you have. So if you want to go get in the car, you need the car key to open the door. Insulin does that to your cells. So whether it's a muscle cell or a fat cell, insulin is the key to opening that up. Fat does not raise your insulin levels, but it becomes extremely easy to store when insulin is elevated. And what most people don't know about this is that when insulin is up, fat burning is off. This is one reason I'm so down on snacking, just because most of the time we're snacking, we're having carbs in our snacks. Not a lot of people are just snacking on chicken breast, to be honest with you. I talk to a lot of people, doesn't happen very often. So when we spike our insulin, your fat burning is turned off. So if you can stop snacking and stop eating things that spike your insulin, you can keep your fat burning on more often during the day. And yeah, sure, having like a 4-hour window where you are in more of a fat burning mode is not going to lead to a six pack, same way that eating one salad isn't going to make you fit. But if you can keep stacking these up and get more and more and more and more time, you're going to do better and better and better. There was a study in diabetes in 2007, and they found that insulin significantly suppresses the breakdown of stored fat for almost 6 hours post meal. And they were showing pretty big meals here. But when we have those big meals, you can have like a 6-hour window where you're not burning fat. That's why I don't even think intermittent fasting is that great as a specific fat loss tool, aside from the fact that you're just not eating for 16 hours, because you don't even start really getting into autophagy and like a lot of deep fat burning processes, spiking your ketones until about hour 16. So I like a 24-hour fast over a 16-hour fast anyways. And some of the stuff I've read shows that having a 24-hour fast is basically worth about 3.5 times a single 16-hour fast, which is significant. So if you're combining your carbs and your fats in a single meal, let's say like a bowl of pasta with Alfredo sauce, a bagel with cream cheese, whoa, you're basically telling your body, don't burn any fat today. Just store all the energy instead. We'll deal with it a little bit later. That crumb chuz will get you every time. So when I first started training, I was always like, I got to bulk up. You got to get huge, right? You got to feed the machine. So I would eat post-workout a protein shake with oats, peanut butter, banana, creatine. I probably put something in there called like dark matter or like Dr. Muscle Guy's secret bicep serum. I was buying crazy dumb stuff all the time. This shake was delicious, to be honest with you. But it also made me tired 30 minutes later. Imagine that, having an 800-calorie shake. No energy boost from that, really. No real fat loss, and also no real size gains either. But looking back now, it makes sense because I was giving my body quick sugars and slow fats with no real consideration for how it was processed in my body. So the quick sugars would be great if I was only mixing those with protein. It would really facilitate the muscle building process. Again, carbs elevate insulin. Insulin is allows your cells to open up to create storage. So if you're having carbs and proteins, great way to build muscle. So if your goal is to build muscle, we want to make sure that you're not doing a low carb diet. We want to have higher carbs. That's going to be a great way to facilitate your body's natural muscle building apparatus. But so once I switched to the proteins and the carbs post workout, and then proteins and fats during the day on other times, a lot of stuff changed for me. My energy shot up, fat started going away. I was building more muscle more rapidly, and I wasn't consistently hungry during the day, and my energy felt good. So that was a big game changer for me in about 2014 that I've been diving into and learning a lot about ever since. So here's kind of what to do instead and how to break this down. During the day, what we want to do is we want to focus on proteins and fats. So this is a good option during the day because it keeps your insulin low, it keeps your energy steady. It's not going to give you these massive blood sugar spikes, so it's not going to get big insulin swings. Fat is a slow digesting compound. So if you eat fat at night, it is going to slow down your digestion. There's a story about bodybuilders who used to put olive oils in their shakes at night because they wanted a drip feed of protein into their muscles throughout the night. And whether or not that's a good option, it's going to impact your sleep for sure. But these guys are doing everything within their power. They're injecting themselves with all kinds of pharmaceutical drugs, all this stuff. So if I feel like if a bodybuilder has tried it, or if the bodybuilder has not tried it, it's probably not a viable option. If you've never heard about it before. So you're having proteins and fats during the day. You're having slow blood sugar spikes, no real blood sugar drops. You're not getting a lot of cravings. You're going to be full a lot longer. So you can have a pretty big meal, and then you can wait until you train, or you can push your lunch out to like 1:30, 2 o'clock. This is a great way to just make sure that you feel good all the time. And I think that one of the principles of energy first fat loss is that make sure your energy is good. Like you got to feel good, because if you're not going to feel good, sure, you can muscle through it for a couple of days, but eventually you're going to crack. Like 100% of the time, you're going to crack eventually. So looking at your energy is one of the biggest red flags for is your program viable. And like, I can give you a program for 1,200 calories per day where you're eating a bunch of protein and you feel like trash, and you're training a lot, you're doing cardio and stuff like that, and you're going to lose weight. You are, for sure. But most of the time that causes a giant rebound. So what we want to do is we want to do something that's going to give you energy now in the moment. We want to make sure that you feel good while you're quote unquote dieting, while you're helping yourself build muscle. And then we want to do something that actually is sustainable long-term. So yeah, maybe a little bit more intense in the moment, but it has to be something that you can look at and be like, yeah, I can do that. That's not a big deal. And that's what energy first fat loss is all about. Creating that sustainable, easy to comprehend system that you can apply to grandma's house, to Thanksgiving dinner, to going out to steakhouse, to going out to Mexican food with clients, whatever that is. One of my favorite proteins and fats breakfasts, and a lot of people think this is weird, but having a meat and almonds. It's chicken thighs and almonds for me. That's my premier breakfast. Or if I'm going skiing, I'll always try to have that because I just have great energy all day long. If you don't believe me, just try it out. Literally just try it once. You're going to like it. Steak's a good option too. I like the little fattier cuts of meat in the morning, especially. And plus, those always reheat better. You ever try to reheat chicken breast on day 4? It's not that great. So now proteins and carbs, when do we eat those? Those are great after workouts, post-workout, to help your body refuel and recover, and at night. So that's going to help you with recovery, muscle building, glycogen replenishment. And also those carbs are going to give you a big blood sugar spike and a big blood sugar drop, which is going to help you facilitate better sleep. You're going to get more tired. This is the way. So thinking about this, like if you just think back to historically when we were living in caves, we didn't have the ability to go to our fridge all the time. That's a pretty new thing, like hot showers, cold meals, etc. So this is not how our bodies were designed or, are used to. This is such a small blip in the timeline of human history that we're still our crocodile brains are still struggling to understand how we have all this food in our refrigerator and we can just walk right past it and not eat it. Cause it's like, yo, we don't know if we're going to go through a famine. Like, let's eat all that food right now. So it's no wonder we're all fat, sick, out of shape, sedentary. It's because our bodies were designed to find things, eat as much as we could, store them. And we haven't adapted to the evolution of the fridge and fast food and DoorDash. Like that's way outside of our natural inclinations. So keep thinking about how we were designed, how people were like evolved to eat. And if we can use some of those ideas, I think about it like your biorhythms, or the way our bodies work and preferentially like choose to, go about their food processing, right? Like from a biochemical level, like how is our body going to be handling this food? Because we weren't designed to eat pizza in the morning. I swear on my life, that's not what was supposed to be happening. So thinking about that, having like a light breakfast, we talked about this in the evolutionary eating episode. If you didn't check that out, I think it was like 3 episodes ago. But we talk about how eating light in the morning, being a little bit hungry, is a great way to facilitate better hunting. So you don't want to feast and then go hunt. That's not how it was supposed to be. So if we eat light, we stay a little bit hungry. You're gonna have better hand-eye coordination. You're gonna have better mental acuity. You're gonna be better focused. You don't want to be starving, right? There's a reason no athletes go to the Olympics on an empty stomach after not having eaten for 2 days in a row. That doesn't work. But there's that sweet spot of hunger where most of us experience it, on a day-to-day basis. But we're always like, oh, I'm so hungry, I'm gonna go eat a meal, and then we go eat like half of a donut in the break room or whatever. So if we can work with our bodies instead of against it, everything just becomes so much easier. And one of the tells of this is energy, like I said. So the proteins and the carbs, that's kind of like the fast energy and the replenishment. The proteins and the fats, that's like slow energy and for like deeper work, in my opinion. So don't give your body fast energy and slow energy at once. It kind of muddles the waters, right? So and it ends up storing most of it. There was a 2011 study in a magazine called Obesity, and it showed that high fat meals combined with high glycemic carbs will actually mess up metabolic flexibility and led to greater fat storage when compared to the separating of the macronutrients out. So I actually had a client. We'll call him Matt. That was his name, actually. His name is Matt. So we'll call him Matt. He was an entrepreneur. He's a busy guy, a couple kids, lifting 3 or 4 times a week. And he was stuck at the same weight for like 4 or 5 months. And he was actually tracking his macros towards the end there. We were trying to figure all these things out. And when I looked at his food logs, every meal was proteins, carbs, fats, all of the things. Breakfast burrito, smoothie with oats, almond butter, chicken teriyaki with rice, Alfredo, all the things. So he was eating pretty good, and he was getting enough protein, but just wasn't seeing the scale budge and wasn't seeing his waistline move and didn't like how he looked in the mirror. So we just made a quick change. We just said, no more combining fats and carbs. Let's run this play for a month and let's see what happened. So morning was eggs and avocado, so protein and fat base. Lunch was grilled chicken with salad with a vinaigrette. And then dinner was rice or potatoes, lean steak, some veggies, something like that. And he actually ended up dropping about 9 pounds in 3 weeks. And that's someone who's been training, who's been in it. It's not newbie gains either. Without changing his calories really or messing around with anything, just by changing the timing and the combinations. So this is a powerful method. It's a little bit, I'll say, annoying because you're like, oh, like what are the foods that I like? It's like French fries and ice cream and nachos and bean burritos and just pizzas, all the like the foods that are real, like yummy, like low satiety, very high, like high dopamine release donuts. They're not just fats. They're not just carbs. They're like a combination, right? These companies use sugar, fat, and salt to hit our dopamine receptors and make us crave more of those foods. They're doing it on purpose. We have to fight back because they're messing with our evolutionary responses. They know what makes us tick and they give it to us. And we're like, we like that shit. Give us more. And that's not going to be conducive to a body that gets leaner and lives longer. So just as a recap here at the end, carbs spike insulin, which makes fat easy to store. So whatever you're eating with your carbs, it makes that easier to store. So if you're having carbs and protein, that's make the protein easier to store. If you're having carbs and fats, it makes the fats easier to store. So try to separate out your carb meals and your fat meals, and every meal is a protein meal, right? One of my rules, if it doesn't have protein in it, don't eat it. If it doesn't have protein in it, don't eat it. If it doesn't have protein in it, don't eat it. Fat doesn't really spike insulin, but when insulin is high, fat burning will shut off. So stop combining them. Instead, do proteins and fats during the day, give you some steady energy, low energy, like small dips, small spikes, just feeling good, steady energy all day long. Proteins and carbs at night or post-workout is going to help you with recovery and performance. It's going to make you feel a lot better. So try this out. And if you don't believe me, check out some of the studies, the one from the diabetes or from the obesity, or just do your own research. Go look at some of the stuff because there's a lot of people talking about a lot of different things on nutrition. And I'm just another one, but I've seen what works. I've seen what works for myself. I've seen what works for some of my clients. And I just want to help you cut through the bullshit and just get the right information. And so while this tip isn't super like trendy and cool, like hot girl walks or whatever, it's something you can take with you, right? You don't need to macro track if you're just always separating out carbs and fats. Like if you don't need to do the most and do a Whole30 diet. If you can just keep this one rule in mind, this is one of the rules that I consistently think about all the time. So my 2 rules are, if it doesn't have protein in it, don't eat it. Remember from before. And then try my best to avoid proteins and fats, or proteins and carbs, fats and carbs in the same meal. Blech. So if I can, and I don't always nail it, but I'm better than most. And I think it's just a great guideline to keep in mind, right? I will eat a guacamole and carne asada burrito. I will. I'm just going to do it. But again, I'm trying to make sure I got like 60 grams of protein in that bad boy. So try this out. See if it works for you. Think about it, because it's such an easy rule that you can keep with you, and it doesn't cost you anything to do it. Okay. So this gives you a light bulb moment. Share it with someone who's been stuck at a plateau, or DM me on Instagram @_million-dollar-body meal fix. And I'll send you a free guide to building the meals that burn fat 24/7. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. Hopefully this gives you some ideas on where to go next with your nutrition. And I really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. Have a great day.